should be alive or flying a little bit.
What do you mean the vang's important down? Vang off or vang a little loosely tipped?
The vang is important because it controls the height of our boom. Because when your main sheet's way out, the main sheet doesn't control the height of the boom anymore. When you're sailing upwind, the main sheet's pulling down, so it will keep the boom down. Right. But when we go downwind, we're letting this out. So if the vang isn't at least cleated, the boom is going to lift way up in the air and it's going to twist it's going to really twist out.
Bad shape for the sail.
If there's wind. You're just dumping wind.
Okay.
You're spilling wind, and you want to have some vang so that it makes that sail more perpendicular and just to the wind direction. So you think just trying to get as much area of the sail exposed to where the wind's coming from. Because if that boom raises, the cloth is going to go like this, right? And you're going to be spilling wind. But having said that, if you put too much vang on, you close down the leech, and the boom tries to jibe, especially if you're sailing really deep. It's confusing, isn't it?
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So when I'm sailing by the lee, you have to have that twist, and so that it's opened up, so that the sail area is kind of helping the sail stay on that side of the boat. So
is that making sense?
Yeah.
Like the boom's going to be here, but the top of the sail's going to be like up here,
a little over there, and it helps the boom stay out.
Okay. So you loosen up your vang to let the boom rise a little bit?
Just a little bit. Not too, yeah, you don't want to have it off, though, because, man, that boom will just go sky.
Right.
So, yeah. And
on
the reaching legs, we're talking about that offset leg, the vang is so key. It's really important and you should be looking up at that. It's really the reach legs, and downwind, the vang actually has a huge effect on that top batten. If you have no vang on that reaching leg, your boom is going to rise up, and you're going to be spilling all kinds of wind. And if you have too much, it's going to be hooked. I'd rather have it hooked than on a reach than the boom being too much. So but make sure when you come around the weather mark, you do let your vang off a couple inches, right? So we don't break our booms. Because that's another thing you don't want to forget. But sorry.
Who controls your vang, you or crew?
I control my vang. Except every now and then I'll ask Stacy to help me upwind and heavy wind to pull it in, but mostly I do my own vang. But that's different on different boats. My vang's back here. Yeah. Some people have their crew do it. Sean?
Heavy air, Dave does an awesome job, and when it gets lighter, I can do it.
I'm getting better relinquishing control because I really think it's a good idea to have your crew do the vang
in
heavy air.
It
really does.
You leaning in is not a
right.
great idea.
Exactly.
That and also, I should be playing the main sheet and hiking out, and it's just one more control, and it's really nice to have your crew do the vang in heavy wind. John, what about you? What do you
Same
do?
thing. I mean, if it's heavy breeze, crew's doing it. If it's light, I'm doing it.
So what about you're going downwind? It's not, you're not going really deep, right? You've got a wind shift. It's moved around 30 degrees. It's still broad reach. It's not a beam reach, right? How far in do you pull in the main? How do you know when far enough is far enough?
Well, so wait. Let's back up. So you're going downwind. You're saying the wind has gone forward.
Yep. It's
a header.
It's moved. Yeah, and you're pointing right at the leeward mark.
Okay, so
right, no problem.
I'm getting a header and I'm pointing right at what am I going to do? Well, if it's a big header, my main's going to start luffing.
Right. So you have to pull it in.
So I have to pull it in a little bit, and my pole is going to have to go forward.
Right. How far in do you pull in the main? How do you know?
Just till it stops luffing.
Just until it starts?
Just until it stops luffing, yeah.
Doesn't the spinnaker drive that?
I mean, if we're sailing... no. It just depends on if you're... What you're describing, it sounds like a close reach. If the wind is going forward of beam, now we're sailing upwind essentially. Now we are sailing with a foil, because that's the big difference. Sailing downwind, we're trying to make our sail is not a foil.
Right.
We're not trying to get flow on it. We're trying to create as much sail area exposed to the wind as possible.
I'm saying the wind is just aft of a beam, right? So you have
just
to pull in the main some. It can't be on the shroud.
Then
right?
what I'll do, I just kind of eyeball it and look where my telltales, my masthead fly is, and try to make the boom perpendicular to that. Okay. So, because you're right, a lot of times you don't know, because there's no luffing if it's a broad reach. So, what I will do a lot, and I do like to have a masthead fly, I'll look, if it's pointed, if it's gone from aft and now it's more like that, well then I probably need to bring my boom in. I want to have my boom perpendicular generally to that. Some people, I see John has these little, which is a really good idea, right? Would you do that, John? What do? You look at your your little cassette tapes?
Yeah, I'm looking at those all the time.
And you want the boom perpendicular to those? Is that what
I,
you're looking for?
You know, I try, but I'm also looking at the sail itself. If it's luffing, you know, then I will trim.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times what happens, if the wind shifts forward like you're describing like that, I'll get really excited because we can actually bear off. When we're sailing downwind, it means we got a header, we can actually bear off more downwind towards the mark. So if I can do that. But if we're already on the mark, you're right, you have to just adjust your sails to it. So
Yeah, I was just wondering how, I feel like the right amount is way more than, or is perpendicular is way more than just not luffing anymore.
well, no, yeah, no,
Perpendicular's in a lot
erase
farther.
what I said about luffing because I thought you were describing the wind is shifted to where we were now close reach. The wind is
Yeah, no.
beam. Because if the wind is off the beam or if it's forward of the beam, then the sails, it's all about pull it until it stops.
Maybe
right,
coming
getting
over the
flow
hip of the
on both
boat,
sides.
Dave, is that what you're talking about?
Just after the beam, right?
quarter?
If it's after the beam, we're still sailing, we're still trying to drive down, we're still using our sails to catch wind. So you want that boom, so the wind's going to here, you just want the boom. It used to be out here, now it's going to come up here, right? The wind was here before, so my boom's here. Well, the wind just went here, so now my boom's going to be here. So we got as much sail area. Just think, this is the other reason when we're going downwind sailing deep, I'm always trying to get the guy back. Trying to bring that pole back and the boom forward to the shroud because the more the pole is forward, think about it, and more the boom is out to the shroud, we're just exposing more sail area to the wind. It's a really simple concept. But the problem, you can't get greedy and try and sail too deep because it gets, if she's not got pressure and the sail's not flying as well, you do have to heat up a little, you have to sheet in a little bit, trim and sail a little higher. Does that make sense to you guys?
I have a
I'm
question.
afraid it would be a whiteboard would be kind of good.
The last club series we had, me and Mike Herman were in Sean's boat, and Mike's like, we're by the lee, we're by the lee, we're by the lee. If you looked at the shroud telltale, it said we're by the lee. If you looked at the spar fly, it says we're on a dead run.
Mm-hmm.
So
Was it light? Was it light, mediumish light?
It was heavier,
was
medium
honking.
heavy that day.
Honking.
Huh. Well, yeah, you can get a little wind shear. You get a little different angle. I mean, I believe the masthead fly a little more than because there's more turbulence and stuff down here.
Did you have like
I
both
like to
lenses
sail-
on, or was it like kind of like this on your glasses?
What?
dude, that was a legitimate question, mister.
I'm just messing
Did
with
you say
you.
we're by the lead like it was a bad thing?
I think so, yeah.
Because
I've heard that like, oh, Scots are horrible by the lee.
I mean, we sail by the lead a lot, but it is in the windy stuff. You got to be careful because it's if you're by the lee, you can bad
It's
things
that
can
10-12 where you can go deeper, weather heel, bangs eased, board is practically trunked, and you're like, oh boy. And then too much wind and it doesn't work, too little wind, it doesn't work. I've seen you
yeah.
work that like a fiddle.
Too little wind, it doesn't work either. Yeah. So.
But I think for who he's talking about, who has a certain experience level, by the lee could be a finicky place to be.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
a great thing for a crew to say, hey, we're a little by the lee.
Yeah,
Next
I think
step
so
is
too.
jiving.
It's really great to be
Well, I
aware of
used to know
it.
which
You should absolutely be aware of it. Yeah, because it's close to jiving.
But Ryan's answer was the masthead's going to be a little cleaner. Down here is disrupted a little bit, possibly. So maybe the masthead is and where it feels right, I guess. And you're good at knowing that. So
So you trust the masthead more?
I personally do. Yeah, I use the masthead.
I feel
exclusively.
like it's going through, it's doing this, so you get so many false readings because of apparent wind, no apparent wind.
Well, I use a Windex, not like what John has. I don't know what that thing is. I use one of those guys because they're very accurate.
the Boy Scout project.
They're very accurate. The red ones, I've found I can't really trust those. But some people like the red ones. I don't know, Sean. What do you use? And some people don't use them at all.
I
Like
did-
the guys in New Orleans,
Yeah.
like Mark Egan, never used the masthead fly at all.
I
He used
had
sail
one, but
by the-
kept forgetting
wing
to
on
put
the
it
hair of
up.
his neck or something.
And I
No,
don't
he
have
has these on his boat.
them a few
Marcus?
years.
Well, these are very, they do work. The cassette tape. Well, you-
I had no masthead for a few years just out of neglect, and I love my shroud telltales.
yeah, they work, right? They do work.
But I do look at both, and I have noticed they're different at times. The shrouds are also at an angle, so it can kind of mess with you a little bit. But light air, they're essential. But
Right.
it's like anything. It's a feel thing. It's a academic thing balanced against feel. So I don't know.
But I think it's good if you're looking up at your sails and just messing with them because a lot of people I think are looking at the boat right over there again, 2 boat lengths over, or where the mark is, and they're not thinking about just making the boat go fast and what am I doing with my sails. where is that batten right now? Where on the jib? Where's the wind going from? Because the more you're doing that, the more your head is in the game, I think, and you're trying to maximize your boat speed. And a lot of people don't look up at their sails, I think, at all during the race. Yep.
Going back to sailing by the lee, are you not jibing because you're going to lose something because you jibe, or you just only going to do it for a little bit?
It's faster.
We're doing it because it's actually pretty darn fast.
Really?
If you get
VMG,
like Sean
that's
said,
VMG.
the wind's behind you a little bit from this side, and you've got the main on the same side, and you've got the boat kind of up on the edge a little
The
bit.
wetted
and
surface is minimal because you're
Yeah.
heeled to weather.
It's heeled to weather, and everything's right. The boat
And the
can
spinnaker's
feel a little
projecting
weird.
like crazy.
And you're sailing really deep, yeah. And it
But
be
you can only
fast.
heel it to weather in at least it's gotta be blowing 6, 7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or more.
You can also sail by the lead to leeward in the lighter stuff, and that's harder to do. But the boom will also. Some people will use the
back
boom
over.
crutch here to hold the boom out.
Yeah.
Because the boom will, and the lighter stuff will come over. If you got the boom crutch on it, you can hold it out there. I've seen Harry do that.
You've seen Harry do that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we've
So
done that
he's
tons
sitting-
of times. Growing up, my
Yeah,
God.
he's sitting on this side, and he's holding that boom out with the boom crutch, and going fast with a lot of weight in the boat. And it's really annoying. One time, he was sailing by the lee with 3 people, and went right by us, and that's when I became a big believer actually at that moment, and screwing around with sailing by the lee more. But that is a pretty advanced thing. It's kind of an advanced topic, I think.
Yeah.
So it's better. It is really good. If you're not sure where by the lee is, then don't sail by it.
Because on almost everything I read or hear about, they say dead downwind is slow. I mean,
Unless there's specific conditions
If
where
there,
you
there has to
can.
be a considerable amount of breeze to sail dead. Yeah, I guess it's true. We really don't. It's more by the. I mean, you almost never sail truly dead downwind. It's either by the lee, but if it's really windy, we do sail deep. Right, but in light air, dead downwind is slow. Absolutely. In lighter wind, you're going to be doing more of this stuff. And this weekend, we'll be doing a lot more broad reaching. Keep the boat, because what happens
Sunday
is,
at least.
when you sail dead downwind, your apparent wind just goes to hell. Does everybody know what apparent wind is? It's the wind we create by moving, right? So when you head up, you're going faster, you're creating more wind, and the boat just goes better. And it's super light. If you go dead down with the wind, and it just dies. So ice boats are a great place to learn about that.
Yeah. Always going upwind.
Because they can go dead downwind and they slow right down. It's the scariest thing in the world, because the ice boat goes a million miles an hour until it's dead downwind, and suddenly it just settles right, because it can't go faster. It's not creating any apparent wind anymore. As soon as it turns upwind, it becomes terrifying. That's why I like to go to Florida. The same thing with those catamarans. Those things
Yeah,
are
the
crazy.
American Cup boats.
Yeah,
they're
those are
always
like ice
going
boats.
upwind.
They're going upwind in all directions because of all apparent wind. They're going like 3 times the wind speed, true wind speed.
That about cover it?
Thank you.
Ryan, John, thank you.